Okay, earlier we talked about getting work done in a single task, and that was particularly in the case where there's lots of work to do on a single task and it needs to be done all at once. But often it's really common to need to do like one piece of work across multiple tasks all at once, so like batched work. To do that most effectively, what we'll do is create a view to gather those tasks together. So we see just what we need to do the work on and nothing extra kind of cluttering the view or getting in the way. Then we can either hit them one by one or use the Multitask Toolbar to do it all at once, depending on what needs to be done. If you are using the Multitask Toolbar, do make sure to scroll to the bottom to give all the tasks a chance to load in. That way you can select them all. I think I've got a list of orders. So here it'll load in a bunch of orders, but if I keep scrolling down, it'll load in the extras. That way I have all of them visible, and I can now select all of them. Okay, so to create our view for doing our batch work, we need to go to the level that will pull in all the data we need. In this case, I have a list for feature requests. We'll create a new list called prioritizing, because that's what I need to do. So I've got a whole bunch of feature requests here that I need to prioritize. And I'm not going to do the whole job right now. All I want to do right now is set values for two custom fields, effort and use case, that I'm going to use to then sort them into a priority list. So first, I only want to see my new requests. I don't want to see anything that's already had the value set because they don't need to be set again. So I'll add a filter. Now this one's a bit tricky because I want to say that neither one field nor the other is set. And I've got my two custom fields, effort and use case. Now this is a little bit tricky because I need to do not set for both of them. So where effort is not set and use case is not set. But actually I don't want it to say and where both these have to be true, because even if one is not set, I want it to show up. So I'll change this to or, and that works well. One thing to be careful of with or filters is it can change some of the default filtering. So for example, by default, closed tasks are filtered out. Sometimes that can disable that. In this case, it's not an issue because I don't have any closed tasks in this list, but just good to be aware of. I'll save that so it doesn't reset. And now I'm just seeing my new feature requests. Next, I want to make sure that my two custom fields are visible. So let's show those. I also want to hide the rest of these because I don't need them. I want this view to be as clean as possible and only showing the data that I need to see to get the job done. So great. I have the names of the subtasks, the effort and the use case custom fields, and I'm only seeing the tasks that I need to work on. Finally, I'll group by none just to make this into a nice clean list. There's only one grouping there, but now there's no groupings, which is nice. So it's now very simple for me to go through one by one and change the effort and use case for these feature requests, or I can go through and use the Multitask Toolbar. So for example, I go to this first one, I can say, okay, this is high effort and the use case is pretty wide. Okay, and then it disappears because those two are both now set. Then I can go to the next one and say, yep, this is pretty epic in effort, but the use case, again, pretty game changing. Or what I could do is I could select multiple. So let's say I'm going to set the custom field to low. So I say, okay, which ones of these are easy? So okay, this one's easy, and maybe, actually probably not many of these are going to be easy. They're mostly generally pretty hard. That one might be, that one could be, a bit of a guess here. And then we'll go to our custom fields, set effort, mark it as low. And then go through and do that once for each value of this. Depending on the type of work you need to do, either it'll tend to lend itself to Multitask Toolbar, or it'll lend itself to going through one at a time. But those are your two options. Either way, you've got a nice clear view that makes it pretty simple. And that is getting work done across multiple tasks in ClickUp.
Before you go, I've got something for you. After using ClickUp for a while, you'll find that it starts to get cluttered, hard to use, and things can start falling through the cracks, even if you set it up really well. And that's nobody's fault, it just happens. Cars need checkups to keep them running smoothly, and so does your ClickUp. What I have for you is the instruction manual on how. It's called the ClickUp Checkup, and it's a checklist of the things you need to do every 1 to 3 months that prevent a whole swath of issues that start cropping up after you've been using ClickUp for about a year or so, sometimes sooner. So with it is a training video where I go through each of the checks myself so you can see exactly how I do it and why. A PDF with the checklist and quick reference instructions, and finally a ClickUp task template so you can instantly import all that directly into your ClickUp, have it recur each month or quarter with the checklist ready to go. Click the link in the description to get it now and prevent the headache of having the clarity you wanted from ClickUp turn into confusion. I'll see you on the inside.